In today's lesson, you'll learn something that you have probably never heard anywhere before, and it is a very powerful technique that I have used with some of my students, and this is called the SelfAccent Hack. Hi, I'm Josh, your American English guide, and this is English Hacks Pronunciation, where I help you to sound like a native if you want, and to understand natural speech better. So what is this self-accent hack? Like, what do you mean, my own accent? How is that going to help? You probably don't like listening to yourself, right? You want to sound like a native, or at least sound good enough, right? How can you use your own accent to help improve your English? It can happen, and it's actually very, very powerful. So the idea for this, first let me explain a little bit of the theory here, because I came up with this idea and I tested it with some students, and it turns out my theory is correct. We know that when you're learning a language, you need to get lots of input, which is listening, reading, and for pronunciation, ear training and things like that. You know more or less how English should sound, right? You listen to a lot of English, and maybe your ears aren't quite trained enough to hear every little thing and this and that, whatever, that's okay. But you probably know that you don't sound like that, right? And that's why you're trying to improve. Well, so your brain has a reference through lots of English input, right, from native sources of how English is supposed to sound when it's being pronounced. But your brain doesn't have a good reference of how you sound. And this might not seem important, but it is very, very powerful. It's not something you have to do, but the idea is that if you take a recording of yourself or multiple recordings that you put together, and you want to be speaking naturally, you're not trying to pronounce things really well, you're not trying to avoid grammar mistakes or anything like that, you're just speaking the way you normally would to somebody. In fact, recording a conversation that you might have with somebody over Skype or Zoom that you would do anyway is like a perfect resource for this. You just record it. But however you do it, you want to get yourself speaking naturally for 5 to 10 minutes total time, and then you're going to listen to that every day. Now, I don't recommend that you sit down and listen to it. You should be playing it while you're doing other things. Now, you don't want it to be completely in the background where you're not paying attention to it, but say you're doing the dishes, maybe you're driving to work, whatever it is, you can be playing this audio and getting input of yourself. The reason why it works is because now your brain has a better reference for how you sound. And then you can more easily and potentially more quickly start making the little adjustments that you need, whether that's in rhythm or sounds or intonation, whatever it is, that in order to adjust to speak English better. Okay, now there's one really, really important thing here. When you're listening to yourself, do not try to analyze it. I repeat, do not try to analyze it. Just get the input. Just let your brain soak in your own voice, okay, in your own pronunciation of English. And this, again, might make it seem like, well, why is that useful? Trust me, it is, okay? You're not trying to fix your pronunciation during this exercise, the self-accent hack. This is going to just build up a reference in your brain for how you sound. And then once you have that reference, then you can go, as you're doing shadowing or minimal pairs or whatever it is, you'll have more material in your brain based on how you sound to try to adjust. So step 1, record yourself speaking naturally. Number 2, make sure that it's at least 5 to 10 minutes long, preferably 10 minutes. Number 3, listen to it every day as much as you can throughout the day. Number 4, do not try to analyze every little thing that's wrong. If you notice some things, that's fine. Just notice it and keep listening. Continue doing this for, say, a week, maybe 2 weeks. As a bonus, after you start soaking your brain in a little bit and you start getting familiar with listening to yourself, you can also then use that material to focus in on, okay, what are the sounds that I have troubles with? Or how's my rhythm compared to English rhythm? And even better, if you can get somebody to maybe record some of the sentences that you said in your recordings, And then you can compare directly to how they sound. So you can actually use this material for more things, but when you first start using it, you just want to let your brain soak and not really worry about analyzing or changing anything. You can try this. It probably won't work for everybody. Some people will think that it's just stupid and a waste of time, and you don't have to use it, but I really strongly recommend that you try it. You can let me know if it works for you. So thank you guys so much for watching another English Hacks lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.